The smash hit UK stage adaptation of one of this century's most treasured movies, The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, is heading to New Zealand. Based on the Sunday Times bestseller that became a blockbuster movie, this play is a joyous comedy about taking risks, finding love and embracing second chances.
We're not old, are we? We've just been young for a very long time. And that's how it feels, here at the Marigold Hotel.
Rula Lenska is one of the impressive names heading to New Zealand. She's played the iconic characters like Coronation Street's Claudia Colby, and Rula is with me now. Good evening to you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You've been playing Madge or Marge in the UK play, and it looks like the sort of production where the cast is allowed or perhaps encouraged to have fun on stage. Is that what it's like?
It is absolutely. Well, it's a sort of mirror of the story, isn't it? A group of people in their latter years who decide to have one last adventure, whether they're trying to forget people who have passed or unhappiness, or, as in Madge's case, she's looking for a rich Maharaja. And the reaction and the sort of coming together of these people and the way that their relationships grow and change is an integral part of the piece. And of course, the way that their friendships develop with the Indians, because they're all going over to India.
What I like about the storyline, and I'm sure it's the same for you, is that every character in the story is very likable, but not just likable, in a way, very much relatable, no matter what their age is. And I think that's the success of the story.
Absolutely true. Well, in the group of people who come over from the UK, there are no youngsters. We're all of a certain age. But amongst the Indian characters, there are very young and very handsome Indian gentlemen and ladies.
You know, when I was actually watching the film to remind me of the storyline, I couldn't help but wonder why there aren't more stories about older people considering the lives they've had.
Quite right. Well, unfortunately, fewer and fewer good parts are written for older people, particularly for older ladies or old ladies, although I don't think of myself as an old lady. But it is a shame that writers are not more aware, since the demographic of people who watch television and films and theatre are, for the most part, older.
Well, and the irony of all of this is this storyline, no matter if it's the film or the play that you've been in the UK, it's been extremely and continues to be extremely popular, which is why now you can travel to New Zealand. I mean, the storyline resonates with people, and not just older people either.
No, it resonates with everybody, because the story is about love and loss, but most importantly, hope. And now in this day and age, in what's happening all over the world, that's what people want to see, is warmth and love and hope. And this play is full of it.
Yeah, it really is. Now, I read somewhere, and I think you've been practicing Buddhism on and off, and I wondered whether you think the characters in this play could have used some of those principles of Buddhism to ease their minds a bit.
Well, you know, all the European characters in the show face their different problems in completely different ways. Madge is somebody who never gives up and never gives in. She is full of the zest of life still. She's determined to end her days always with a sense of adventure. And she says things how they are. She swears like a trooper, and she's jolly good fun.
The story really is it sounds kind of cliche, but it's a journey of self-discovery in some respects for these people who are older. But I want to actually talk about, you've been on a bit of a journey yourself, not so much of self-discovery, but of your ancestors or your family at least. I know you were in that DNA journey program last year.
Yeah.
That was incredible. We found more out about your great aunt.
Just let me show you. Maybe you know this photo or not.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's how I remember her exactly. Exactly how I remember her.
My great aunt was instrumental in bringing children in and out of the Warsaw Ghetto with threat of life every time she did something like that. And the whole background story of my family from my mother's and my father's point of view are very special. And indeed, I do a show, a one-woman show about my mother's memoirs, which is an extraordinary story coming from a very high privileged aristocratic background, escaping from Poland in 1939 through Romania into Yugoslavia, 3 years under the Italian occupation in Yugoslavia, and then arrested by the Germans, concentration camp for 2.5 years, and then rescued by the Swedish Red Cross. And then she married my father in Monte Cassino after the Battle of Monte Cassino and came over to England as penniless refugees. And it's an amazing circle, an amazing story. And I'm very privileged every time I do it, and people realize how much and how special my mother's family's life in particular was.
Before you go, when I was looking at some of the research, into your life, and I saw that in, I think it was 1995, the program This Is Your Life featured you. And I thought to myself, it seemed a bit early in your career. I know you've had an illustrious and very long career, but 1995 to do This Is Your Life, and 20 years later, I think there needs to be another This Is Your Life, considering all the things you've achieved.
Well, the program doesn't exist anymore. It's the last living footage of both my parents that I have. My mother sadly passed away 2 days after the program was recorded. And the program was, in fact, dedicated to her memory. And it was a huge honor and a huge milestone. And I would definitely like to do another one, because since then, a lot more adventures.
Exactly. Well, thank goodness we've got things like YouTube where you can relive those memories again if you ever feel like looking at it. It's been absolutely lovely speaking to you. I can't wait to see you and...
Where are you going to come and see the show?
I'll be coming in Christchurch to see it.
Okay, well, come backstage and say hello afterwards.
I will. It's been an absolute honour to speak with you. By the way, you've got the best hair in the business, I have to say. And all the very best.
Can't wait to come over.